seen a massive spike in gun violence across the city of Portland. The number of shootings more than double in recent years. The brunt of the violence has impacted black Portlanders and black neighborhoods in the city. One of the neighborhoods seeing the highest increase in shootings is Hazelwood. The community stretches from 102nd Avenue to 148th. Now people living there are sharing their stories. That topic this week's Willamette Week cover story. Joining us to talk about the stories, the article's author, Latisha Jensen. Latisha, thank you for coming on the program.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Willamette Week obtained Portland Police Bureau records that showed racial demographics of the shootings. What did you find?
Yeah, so what this data showed is something that I feel a lot of the people in the community kind of already sensed was the case, and that is the fact that gun violence is disproportionately impacting black Portlanders. More specifically, a really drastic disparity is that they represent the most victims, so those injured and killed in the gun violence shootings. And, and which is about a little over half of all of them from 2020. And that is pretty dramatic considering the fact that they make up roughly 6% of the Portland's population, give or take. And then they were also disproportionately represented in the suspects as well.
Yeah, 51% we heard. What impact has this had, all the gun violence, on families who live in that area?
Yeah, so like it was mentioned, we focused on Hazelwood, and that is the reason for that is because it's seen the highest number of shootings in the past 3 years, of all neighborhoods. So of all the neighborhoods, it's had the highest number of shootings, and the families that live in that neighborhood, the families that I spoke with, they're more on edge when they leave their homes. And when they're running errands out, they just have, it's fundamentally changed the way that people are navigating their lives over the past year and a half since that gun violence spike did happen about the same time as the start of the pandemic. And then beyond the fact that people are more on edge when they're going out and doing their daily routine, it's also causing a lot of grief. So a lot of people that I spoke with have lost loved ones to gun violence. So there's that underlying grief as well that is really traumatic for these families that are living in the neighborhood.
I can only imagine. I would imagine it's also impacting businesses in the area as well. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so I spoke to a couple food cart owners at different food cart pods, and like this one is called Food Cart Heaven. And over the past year, there have been 2 shootings at Food Cart Heaven. And just like in that food cart area, and one of the business owners said that they thought it was fireworks being shot off because it was around the 4th of July last year, but turns out they were gunshots. And these businesses, they're consisted of families and community residents of the neighborhood. So it's equally as traumatic for these business owners who can kind of sense that fear and they're the worry in the community and their customers that are coming through.
What does the community feel needs to be done, Latisha, to kind of move forward now?
Yeah, so everybody kind of has a different perspective of what, solutions could be done. And I feel a few of the main ones are that that there needs to be more resources for younger children, because this is also impacting a lot of, youth, young children. And jobs are another one. Another thing that could be resource provided to younger people, and other smaller things like Snapchat ads, so that using social media as a platform to reach that younger demographic. And since it is so prominently used now, and then I think another general consensus of the community is they want people to know how urgent this issue is, and every day that goes by we're losing more lives, especially young lives and young black lives, and they just want people to know how the trauma that is happening in the black community, that is being unresolved and just happening on a consistent basis.
Worth a read for all of us, no question about it. Latisha Jensen, thank you for your time. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
You bet. You can read the entire article in the latest edition of Willamette Week on newsstands now or online at wweek.com.